A better you starts today.
You want to know what the life hack is? How about you be born into a rich family because self-help is all it can? I see one more of those comments. I'll tell you what the life hack is. And this one's a good one. This one, if you can master it, you will never have a bad day, ever, for the rest of your life. In fact, your bad days will be your best. How's that for reprogramming your mind? This is a complete override. This is the moment in all of those sci-fi films where I assume that it's going to be Natalie Portman, as it usually is, overriding a computer, doing that hurried, quick face that she does it. Just before it goes into the sun, goes away, uses some torpedo that was supposed to be going there. That's now the spaceship. That's what we're doing to your brain now. We're Natalie Portmaning it. Here's how it's working out, right? I want you to think about a time that you had a severe setback. First off, let's just go into the mode of setback. I want you to write down 2 setbacks that you've had recently where you felt a frustration of, I want this thing, but I can't get it. If you think about that, when you're a 5-year-old, you know when you were just trying to go to the cupboard, being like, if only I was the normal height of a man so I could access these cupboards built for me. Stupid kid. You had that feeling though, didn't you? And there was a frustration there, and now you don't have that frustration anymore. And a lot of the frustrations that you currently have, they will dissipate anyway, even if you don't get them. You will want something else. The thing that you are wanting naturally floats around. It's very interesting when you're writing down your goals, because a lot of the time, not only do you surpass your goals, but when you do write them down, when you really sit down there and feel it, like you'll feel an emotional intensity when you're writing down your goals, and then you'll think there and you'll say, not really. And then you kind of realize that the only reason that you wanted it is because it was programmed into your mind. I'm talking about something like, I want a Bugatti. And then you think about it for a lot longer, and then you realize, no, I don't want a Bugatti. I want a Rolls Royce because I'm more classic like that. Eh? You see what I'm getting at here? If you don't have a Bugatti or a Rolls Royce, you're a loser. No, but that's what I'm trying to tell you, is that when you do write down these goals, a lot of them you'll realize they're just floating around in your head. They're kind of just in there because you think they should be in there, and then they dissipate anyway, so that you are going onto your more true, authentic path in life when you write these down regardless, and repeatedly write them down. Not only that, you will achieve them and you will go on and fulfill further goals. And that's the point that I'm trying to get to now. When you do fulfill all of your goals, and you will do them a lot quicker than you actually think that you will be doing, because you're just spending more time on it. You're figuring out how to do it. Your brain is spending more time on how to do it. When you do achieve those goals, you will realize, I want more goals. And these goals suck. Jesus Christ! My girlfriend just came in the room and she fucking wore a scary mask.
Yeah.
Well, I guess we'll keep that in. You're fucked! Anyway, can we not make that the most replayed part of the video, please? How about we just go to the goal setting part? I don't want that to be. Jeez, that was so scary. She did that on purpose!
Yeah.
Oh yeah! Chicks.
Anyway, that's what I'm talking about there. That response, yeah? That comes from self-help. It really does. Like, the fact that a lot of people would see that and just like, no, that's embarrassing. You know when you see a bunch of chicks that are always like vloggers and they're just like, oh my God, that's so embarrassing. And then they just go like, oh God, there's like they're designing the humility there. But the thing is, every time that happens on camera, every time something terrible happens on camera, I'm always like, make sure that you include that. The reason that you are doing it, first off, is just because it's funny, and you realize after a while, that's where the victories are in life anyway. That is where the victories are. You want to get into those moments where you are just in these discomforts for the rest of your life. The reason that you want to be in those discomforts is, first off, if you are not in those discomforts, you are not moving towards your goals. Period. But the other thing as well is, you know when there's a bunch of like situations in your life that are just embarrassing or you feel like a failure, any of those moments, I want you to turn them from now on into fuel. That's how you move past them very quickly. You see it as an advantage, the fact that you felt like this big humiliation and you screwed up your sales pitch. You see that as fuel to go back to the drawing board, you know, more motivated than ever. If they're just sitting there just on Shark Tank and they're like, I can't believe that you thought that a pinwheel hadn't been invented yet. Look, I've got one right now. This is just a little handkerchief bow tie thing that I've turned into one because this is how much of a better inventor I am than you. Any of those moments in life, you go back, you go, okay, back to the drawing board. That's what you see it as immediately. Anytime I ever got rejected in the comedic world, every time I ever got embarrassed, I always used to replay in my head and I'd be like, yeah, that part felt particularly squelchy. Then I would sit there and think about why it felt squelchy. And then you would notice all of these things of like, oh, okay, I'm doing that on stage. Most people just want to avoid those moments for the rest of their life. If you can move into that, my God, you go up the ladder quicker. You really do, because most people are just trying to avoid the thing that is going to get them the experience. People do not want experience in life, and that is why experience is valuable in every field, because so few people want to do what is necessary to get the experience in the first place. So few people want to do that. So if you make sure that you are in those situations, or at the very least, instead of just, you know, dwelling on it for the rest of your life. I mean, it does happen to me. There are still things that I sit there in my bed at night and I'm just like, you fucking moron. But I always think about it in the next context of, dude, every time I've ever been embarrassed in my life or, you know, like rejected or failed in my life, I always think about it in the same way that I think about those goals. That the goals are getting bigger, more ambitious. Where you are in your life, you can do these greater things. But it is exactly the same thing with the embarrassments, with the failures, with the rejections. All of those failures, all of those rejections, you never stop feeling them. It's just that you kind of get used to the feeling of these things happening to you. But the thing is that when you do get these bigger failures, you go back and you think, wow, how many people are in the position to fail like that in the first place? It's like when people are always being like, oh, this billionaire went bankrupt and got to $1 billion. What a fucking idiot. But you're always just like, yeah, but dude, you could never get $1 billion loan from a bank, ever. Let's be honest. You're struggling to get a loan from a bank of like fucking 700,000, aren't you? Let alone $1 billion. There are people out there that if you're getting to that stage, they have done things that are just incomprehensible to the rest of us. And that is why they are at the position where they can fail at that level. And this is the other secret to life. You're always looking for safety. You know what is not safe at all? Blending in with the rest of society, doing what everybody else does, having the same level of income, having the same level of skills. That means that you are very easily outsourced because you are replaceable. On top of that, you are not getting to the point where you can fail to a level that, honestly, that billionaire that fails, they're too big to fail, right? Too big to fail. They never go back to like, all right, you're homeless and on the street. That is never going to happen to that guy. They might have on paper $700 million of debt or whatever, but they've always, you know, siphoned away enough into the Cayman Islands to be okay, haven't they? And a lot better off than the rest of us have. And it is because they've gotten to that level where they are failing at such a large magnitude, and they have, I don't know, like, you know, massively embarrassed themselves on this very large scale because they have gotten immune to getting it to that point, right? And it is because they have just done it over and over and over again and been like, oh, I'm still alive. All right, I'm gonna move forward now that I have that level of comfort in my life. Now I can move out to something that is a little less comfortable, you know? You can just keep going like that. So anyway, that's what I'm talking about. Every time that you ever fail, always think, yeah, but I would have killed for that failure just a few years ago. I would not be in the position to fail at that level that I am now. That's how you go through it. You see it as fuel for future success, that the fact that I have failed at that level means that I have progressed, means that I am on the right path, means that I will see this rejection as just more of a reason to be enthused about moving forward. You can retrain your brain to do that. And if you do, you are at a massive advantage. Anyway, if you want more reasons, make sure you sign up to Jordan Shanks. You get up to 1 to 2 videos extra a week. You won't regret doing it. No one ever does. No one ever does. People get rich off of just following the free advice, let alone the stuff that's hidden behind the paywall. That's the primo stuff. That's the stuff that Bearbo producers spend hours and hours a week reading books, and then we just go, yeah, okay, that's for them. And it costs nothing as well, by the way. Absolutely nothing. And by absolutely nothing, I mean in the WOG sense, not the Anglo sense, where they're just like, no, it did technically cost some. Yeah, a couple of bucks. Do it, you cheapskate.